everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I am going to teach you how to make this beautiful floral motif. So you can see I'm in the process of working on a big project, but I thought it would be a really good idea to teach you how to do the basic motif so that you can take it in any direction that you would prefer. So I have done some motif projects before. I'll be leaving them on the screen and you can go and check out some of those videos. The motifs were a little bit different compared to this one. So let's jump into the video and learn how to make this. So for this project, you have to be ready to deal with a lot of loose strands. At least for my approach, I weave in the ends later on when the project is finished. I know it's hectic, but that's what I prefer to do. So let me put this away. And for the yarn, I'm going to be using robin yarn. It's 100% acrylic, it's very thin, so I'll be doubling the strand. And then I'll also be using a 3.75mm crochet hook, my most popular hook that I use for many of my projects. Then I'll be using two colors, green and white, but you can choose any yarn of your choice and any color of your choice. So we're going to start off with our first color, and that will be green for me. This motif is worked from the center outwards. So it first forms a circular shape, then we shape it into a square shape, and then we shall create the loops that are used to join onto the second motif. So let's get started. You're going to start off with a magic ring. So the way I do that is by doing this, and then I grab my hook and pull on this working yarn. So you can see this is the tail, but I'm pulling on the working yarn, the one that's attached to the yarn ball. So don't pull through, just remove your fingers, and that is my magic ring. And then you're going to chain one just to close off the magic ring, and this is where we're going to be placing our very first stitches of the first round. So after closing off the magic ring, you are going to make a chain of 4, and that chain of 4 counts as a double crochet, chain 1. You're going to go into the magic ring again, and you're going to place 1 double crochet like that, and then you're going to chain 1 double crochet into the same magic ring. So since the chain 4 counted as a double crochet, chain 1, that means so far we have a total of 1, 2 and 3, and we want a total of 8 double crochets. So just keep repeating, chain 1 double crochet, so that's a total of 4, chain 1 double crochet, that's the 5th, chain 1 double crochet, that's the 6th, chain 1 double crochet, that's the 7th, chain 1 and 1 double crochet, and that's the 8th. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and 8. You have to make sure that you cross check before you close off your magic ring. So to close off the magic ring, you're going to just pull on the tail until that ring closes up completely, and then you're going to chain 1 and go into the third chain of the first chain 4. So you're going to count 1, 2, and into the third chain you're going to place a slip stitch. So insert your hook, pull through all, and that's how to make a slip stitch. So we are done with our round 1, and you can see a circular shape that we have formed. So after that, you're going to chain 1 and cut your yarn. So you're going to leave a tail to weave in and then fasten off. So that marks the end of our very first round. Now we're going to the second round, and you're going to grab your next color. For me, that will be white, and you are going to attach it. So the way I attach mine, I'm going to just make a slip knot like that, and then I'm going to go into a loop that's next to this tail, so that when I'm weaving in, everything is easier for me. So any chain one space that's next to this tail, so I'll go into this one like this, oops, sorry, and then I'm going to pull through that loop like that, and then I'll chain one just to secure my yarn. That chain one doesn't count as a stitch. Now you're going to chain 3, and that counts as our very first double crochet, and into the very first space you're going to go into that same space with 2 more double crochets, so 1 and 2. So that's a total of 3 double crochets, and then you're going to chain 2, go into the next chain 1 space with a total of 3 double crochets, like that, and then you're going to chain 2, go into the next space with 3 double crochets, and we are going to repeat that all the way around. So this project can be worked with any yarn of your choice, any hook of your choice, depending on what you're making, because if you want to make something way bigger, you can even go up to like a 5mm crochet hook or a 6, and then you also use maybe bulky yarn, and it's okay to use anything that you want as long as you can achieve the look that you're going for. So chain 2, 3 double crochets into the next space, chain 2, and 3 double crochets into the last chain 1 space. So we shall have a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8 clusters of 3 double crochet stitches. So 8 groups of 3 double crochet stitches. So after this, you're going to chain 2 and go on top of the first chain 3 of your round and place a slip stitch. So insert your hook, yarn over, and pull through all like that. And then you're going to chain 1 and cut your yarn. So that marks the end of round 2, and see how beautiful this is. It creates an octagon. Okay, the corners are there, but you could think it's actually a circle. So this is so beautiful, and from this point you are going to switch to your first color or whatever color that you're going for. So I'll go back to my green color, and now we are going to create our slip knot, create your slip knot, and then I'm going to go into this loop that's next to this tail here, the tail that we left from our previous row. So I'll go into that loop and attach my green yarn like that. And now we are going to make a chain of 3, and that counts as our very first double crochet. And then into the same exact space, you're going to place 2 more double crochets to make a total of 3. So only 2 double crochets to make a total of 3 double crochets. Sorry, my yarn is getting twisted, but this is what we have to deal with as crochet artists. The yarn is not always perfect. So after your 3 double crochets, as you can see, you're going to chain 1, 3 double crochets into the next chain 2 space. So we don't work anything in the stitches, we just go into the spaces like that. And then you're going to chain 1, and into the next chain space, into the next chain 2 space, which is this one, you're going to place 3 double crochets, chain 2, and 3 more double crochets into the same exact space. So 1, 2, and 3. And this row is the one that's going to turn the circle into a square. So we have our very first corner formed, and then you're going to chain 1, go into the next chain 2 space with only 3 double crochets, like that. And then you're going to chain 1 and go into the next chain 2 space with 3 double crochets, chain 2, and 3 more double crochets into the same exact space. So some people refer to this as a shell, which is 3 double crochets, chain 2, 3 double crochets. So each corner will get a shell. As you can see, we are moving away from the circular shape and forming a square shape. So let me first have my yarn sorted out. So after this, you're going to chain 1, and then into the next chain 2 space, you're going to place 3 double crochets, and then you're going to chain 1, and into the next chain 2 space, you're going to place 3 double crochets, chain 2, and 3 more double crochets. Alright, so after this, you will have only 1 chain 2 space left, and you're going to chain 1 and go into that last chain 2 space with only 3 double crochets, and we're going to place a chain 1 and into this space that had the first 3 double crochet cluster or group of 3 double crochets. You're going to go into the same exact space and place a total of 3 double crochets. So as you can see, this was supposed to be a corner, but we had only placed 3 double crochets in there. So that means when we came back, we had to place another group of 3 double crochets in order to turn it into a corner. And in order to finish it up, you're going to chain 2 and slip stitch into the top of the first chain 3. So the third chain of the first chain 3, you're going to make a slip stitch, and then you're going to chain 1 and cut your yarn. So that marks the end of round 3, and your work should look exactly like this. So we've run away from the circular shape and now we are square. So we're going to go on to our next color. As you can see, the first piece that I showed you, we are at this level before we reach the white that is going to help us to join the motifs together. So you're going to get your next color, or if you're following the same exact format as I am, you're going to go back to color B. Color A is white, color A is green, color B is white, then back to color A. Now we are back to color B. Now color B, you're going to make a slip knot, just like we've been doing while attaching the different colors. And we are going to go into this loop that's next to this tail from the previous row. So just go in there, into that loop. Like that. and then you're going to chain 1 and single crochet into that same exact space, into that same exact corner. This should be a corner. So after this, you're going to chain 5. After a chain of 5, you're going to go into the next chain 1 space with a single crochet, chain 5, single crochet into the next chain 1 space, definitely. Then you're going to chain 5 and single crochet into the next corner, so into the chain 2 space. Then you're going to chain 5 and then go into the same exact corner and place a single crochet. So when it comes to the corners, you create that little loop. Then you're going to chain 5, single crochet into the next chain 1 space, chain 5, single crochet into the next, chain 5, single crochet into the corner, and then since this is a corner, you're going to chain 5 again and then single crochet into the same exact corner. So you can see we're creating some ear-like loops for our square. And then you're going to chain 5, single crochet into the next chain 1 space, chain 5, single crochet into the next chain 1 space, chain 5, single crochet into the corner. And you know what happens at the corner. The moment you place a single crochet, then you chain 5 again and single crochet again in the same space. So this is what we'll have. So after this, you're going to chain 5, single crochet into the next chain 1 space, chain 5, single crochet into the next chain 1 space. And now we've come to the end and we are going to chain 5 and single crochet into this corner with the very first single crochet of our round, like that. But since this is a corner and it has no loop yet, that means we are not yet done. We are going to chain 5 and then slip stitch into the very first single crochet of the round, just to create that corner at this that loop at this corner as well. So we should have those loops at every corner. And after this, you're going to chain 1 and cut your yarn. So that marks the end of round 4, and your motif should have a total of 4 rounds. Alright, so when you're done with your motif, you're going to turn it to the back, and you can see all the loose ends are lined up in the same exact line. If you can be very keen on that, all the loose ends are in this direction because we just didn't join at any point when it came to switching colors. So you're going to turn your work to the back, and we're going to start weaving in the ends. You can weave in your ends using a darning needle. That's really up to you. That if you prefer that, then just go for it. But if I'm to count the loose ends that we have, remember I doubled my yarn. That means each loose end has 2 strands. So let's see, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Luckily, I think the best thing is that we have an even number. So if we decide to tie these loose strands together, it will work out for us. So you're going to get the one from the magic ring onto this white one of the second row, the one that you used to attach. I don't know if this is approved in crochet. Some people just don't like knots. And then from here, you're going to go from white onto the green. the green that finished off the round one and the green that attached to start round 2. So from here you can cut your yarn, and we are done with this part. As you can see, this is the wrong side of my work. Make sure you're doing this on the wrong side of the work. And then we're going to deal with the next group. Just tie the strands that are close to each other. We don't want strands crossing over and creating a very shabby look. So after that knot, you're going to cut. Make sure your knot is tight enough so that once it doesn't even have a chance of undoing itself or the knot coming out, because that will create trouble for you. Then after this, we have 3 strands left. So we are going to join these 2, the ones that are close to each other, like that. And then get your white and join it to this last white and make a knot. Just make a very tight knot. Make sure when you're making your knot, you're not distorting the original shape of the motif. So from this point, we can cut off all the loose ends, as you can see. And when we turn our work to the right side, everything is clean, neat, and ready to be used for whatever project that we are going to use it for. So in case you liked this video, make sure you give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to leave a comment in the comment section below to let me know how this video was, and also to let me know what you plan to use this motif for, because I am also in the process of making something out of it, and I would like to get your ideas of what you would like to see from this motif. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I'll see you in my next one, when I am teaching you how to join the motifs together and also how to maybe turn it into something. But for today's video, this is the lesson of how to make a very simple, unique motif that can be used for different projects. So thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you in my next video. Bye.